Hey everybody, I'm back, and in this video I want to talk about CleanSpark and something that I think isn't really being mentioned. I don't see any talks of this in message boards. Now that doesn't mean that people aren't talking about it, but I haven't seen anyone talk about this. And this is going to be the revenue CleanSpark expects coming up. So let's get into this video. We're going to look at their recent mining update. I'm going to give you some projections of what I think is going to happen here, and also just my general thoughts on CleanSpark. And we'll also take a look at the chart. Now, if you like these videos, consider hitting the like, subscribe, ring the notification bell. It keeps me motivated to keep going. Check out the links down below for some free stocks and cryptos, and let's take a look at CleanSpark. Now, what is it that no one's really talking about? And I'll tell you right now. CleanSpark is expecting nearly $52 million in their upcoming earnings report. And this is going to be going over the months April, May, and June. We already received our mining update for April, and we'll look at that in a second. But just based on that mining update, they need roughly another $40 million to meet this expectation of $52 million. So first off, do I think they're going to hit this $52 million? Well, just based on their last mining update, I'm a bit unsure. I think if they are to hit this, we're going to see news of more machines going online, or they're going to be, in the next coming months, selling more Bitcoin than they mine. I think for them to hit that $52 million target, they're going to have to do one of those two things, or maybe even a combination of both. Maybe we do hear about more machines going online, but they do end up still having to sell more Bitcoin than they mine. But I do think the trend has started. The growing revenue trend has started. In their last earnings report that we received, the one going over January, February, and March, we did see roughly $42 million in revenue. And looking back to the quarter before that, they reported about $28 million in revenue. And the one before that, they reported $26 million. I think the growing revenue trend is starting, and it will continue as Bitcoin slowly approaches the halving. And I also want to add that, think about this. CleanSpark is back to record-breaking revenue. This $42 million in revenue was a record quarter. And this was when Bitcoin was anywhere from $20,000 to $30,000. So that fact alone makes me very excited for the coming bull market. And when Bitcoin does approach that halving, when Bitcoin does get that anticipatory run-up, when Bitcoin gets that bull market in 2024 and 2025, I think CleanSpark is going to do extremely well in the revenue side of things. And I do think they're going to reach profitability either by the end of this year or the beginning of 2024. Now, looking back at their last mining update, this was in April, they did make nearly $12 million. And that's why they need about another $40 million to meet that $52 million revenue target. Now, you'll notice in this last mining update that they actually mined more than they sold. They sold 407 Bitcoin, whereas they mined 524. And I'm curious, let me know down below, do you think they're going to continue to add to their HODL balance? Or will they start selling more Bitcoin than they actually mine in order to meet these revenue expectations? I think at the very least, we are going to see a growing revenue trend. Maybe they don't hit this 52 million, but they will at least be well above 45 million in my opinion. And that'll show us that we're seeing continued sequential revenue growth, and we will also be seeing year-over-year revenue growth as well, which is essentially the polar opposite of 2022. We continue to see lower and lower revenue as the quarters moved on, and I do think the bear market has ended for Bitcoin and CleanSpark. Now, one thing I wanted to add is their next mining update will be coming out just a little over a week from now, and this is going to be going over the month of May, and it'll give us a deeper picture of if they're actually going to hit this $52 million revenue target. So I do think, being that we've only seen one monthly mining update so far, it's going to be a bit hard to predict if they're going to hit this $52 million in revenue. But when the next mining update comes out, we'll basically have 2/3 of the picture that we need to see what their revenue will look like. So stay tuned for their next mining update. I will be covering it, so stick around. But next up, let's take a quick glance at the chart. And you'll notice, like many stocks and cryptos, CleanSpark saw its low at the end of last year, at the end of 2022. And since then, it's been moving higher. We have been seeing higher lows and higher highs, and I do suspect we're never going to see the 2s again. Now, can we see the 3s? I do think that's possible. Seeing the upper 3s would put us at the lower end of this channel, at the support level on this channel that we've been kind of trending on. And you'll also notice this golden cross staring us in the face. This is a bullish indicator, and as we continue to see better and better quarters, as Bitcoin hopefully goes up in price, I do think the bull market, the bull trend has started. And I wanted to add, the last time we saw a golden cross was in 2021 in December, but that actually gave us a false reading, and just a couple of days after that, we saw a death cross. So it wasn't able to maintain. And if you remember at that time, in 2021, towards the end, that's when Bitcoin all started to fall, and subsequently CleanSpark. So in my opinion, I do think this golden cross will play out, and we will continue to go higher. And one thing I wanted to add, many of their machines are already paid for. They bought a lot of these machines at the lowest prices you could find during the bottom of this bear market. And as Bitcoin goes up in price, all these other miners are going to scramble to buy machines at much higher premiums than they are currently. So CleanSpark has a very wise strategy. They took advantage of this bear market. They grew their hash rate more than any other miner during this time when you look at their hash rate growth percentage. And I think this company is setting up to capitalize on Bitcoin's next bull market. But let me know what you think down below about all that. Now, I did want to mention something to look out for. We do have what looks like a double top. So if we can break this roughly $5.10 level, we'll be looking very good. I think from an RSI standpoint, we are going more neutral, and it was overbought at both of these peaks. So if we can get towards that point and not be so overbought, it may give us what we need to break right past that 510 area. I think a break of those levels is inevitable, and it's really just a matter of when do we do this. But thanks as always for watching, guys. I know I haven't been putting as many videos out. I've been very busy lately, but let me know down below what other miners I should take a look at. Thanks again for watching, guys, and I'll see you next time.